Hi, hello, and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing the character reviews. It's going to be a bit different from what I normally do, which is just talking about their kits. But let's get to it. First things first, every one of the new characters are trigger units. So, just to refresh everyone's mind, let's see what trigger units are. Trigger units are those with user gains the following effect on attack target, or when it comes to healing, it's user gains the following effect on attack, heal all party allies. So what's the difference between trigger and follow-up? Well, for follow-ups, they will mention that it's going to be a follow-up, like here on basic attack, follow-up attack. So that's the difference between trigger and follow-up. Yeah. So to make things simple, follow-ups are buffed by damage increase and follow-ups, while triggers such as these will also be increased by ultimate skill damage, trigger skill damage, and damage increase. So yeah, triggers are pretty unique, let's say. So let's get to the character review. First, let's start with Kuya. Kuya is a healer. Yes. He increases the trigger skill damage of all party allies, heal all party allies, turn by turn healing, and user gains the following effect, trigger on heal. And the basic attack is heal over time basic. His passive is increase all party ally healing receive and trigger skill damage of all party allies. His 5-star is attack increase and gains on ultimate trigger skill damage increase, which also affects his healing, by the way. So overall, even if you don't have a trigger unit and you kinda want to have a premium healer, Kuya is a pretty good pick. So if you don't plan on having a trigger team, but you want to pull on this banner, then you might as well at least get Kuya. He is still good. Next, we will talk about Foregone Oathkeeper Ray. Foregone Oathkeeper, well, his damage is not really that good. His kit is party allies, increased damage, and he also buffs the team's attack and base of his attack like a support. His multipliers are not really that good. Attack target 50% attack, and his basic is also 100% attack increase. Overall, his multipliers are quite low. But if you plan on making a trigger team, Ray is mandatory. Why? Because he grants the following effect on attack target, a trigger for all of your team for 3 turns. To top things off, he also increases the trigger skill damage and increases the party allies attack. Do note this wording is a bit confusing, but he only increases the attack by 12%. Then, his final passive increases the all striker and saboteur allies gains the following effect. On ultimate skill, attacks target 62% attack is a trigger on ultimate, and also increases the trigger skill damage. Overall, Ray is not really that well known for his damage, but he is kinda a unit that makes or breaks a trigger team. Then finally, we will talk about Lantern Light Wish Dante. He is the main DPS for your trigger teams, and a really proper one in fact. He increases his own trigger skill damage, 1 stack permanently, attacks target 50%. This is the ultimate skill damage, and user gains the following effect On attack, attack target for 3 turns. This is the trigger damage for when he attacks. Then he also refreshes his own. When he uses his ultimate, he also gains a trigger. Do note that this will definitely run out first before you can ult again, unless if you use SK Aiden. That's the one exception. Overall, he does not really have a downtime in terms of DPS because he reduces his ultimate skill cooldown by 3. What makes him somewhat quote unquote better than follow up is that follow-ups has a downtime of 1 turn when they have to refresh their follow-up on ultimate. But Dante doesn't really have that downtime. His basic attack increases the damage he deals by 8% permanently for 3 stacks and attacks the target for 100 multiplier. This is actually not bad, but still somewhat quite low compared to normal basic attacks of 125% multiplier. He is like 1% multiplier short, but overall it's not that bad. Then his final passive, you will most likely not gonna get this, but it's trigger skill damage plus 68%. What? But let's say you don't unlock this passive, which is technically that's most of the case. Uh, he is lacking a lot of damage increase in terms of trigger, which is why I said Ray is somewhat that makes or breaks a trigger team because he increases the trigger damage and damage increase, which are both in different layers of damage increase. In terms of trigger teams, is he actually the best? Let's ask if he is the best trigger DPS. The answer is no. He's actually not the best trigger DPS. He actually works well on nuke teams. Yes, he works well on nuke teams. In fact, his best buffer actually is Kuya. You heard me right. His best buffer is this SR Kuya, which increases the ultimate skill damage, which is overall kinda very budget friendly. So the question is, who is the best trigger DPS, you might ask? It's surprisingly sort of Sincerity Olivine, which is because holy shit, trigger skill damage plus 90%? Sure. Increases damage from trigger skills? Sure. And party gains the following effect. User gains the following effect of trigger. He is somewhat outclassed by him. It's a bit unfortunate, but overall, if you still get Dante, he's still pretty good. You can look at the DPS chart on the side if I don't forget to still put it on. So the question is, should you pull on this banner? Well, if you plan on making a trigger team, I suggest you have to pull for all 3 of them. Yes, you need all 3 of them to be 3-star for if you want to have a functional trigger team. But if you already own Sword of Sincerity Olivine, then you only need Mandarin Adoration Kuya and Foregone Oathkeeper Ray. That's the only thing that you want. But if you don't have, then you definitely want Lantern Light Wish Dante. Also, let's say I want to have a trigger team in the future, but I kinda don't want to spend that much on the banner. Then your goal is to get Foregone Oathkeeper Ray, because all future trigger teams will definitely want him. And finally, if you, like I said earlier, if you don't have a premium healer, then you can aim for Kuya only, because he's still good even though he doesn't really buff your team that much as a aside from trigger skills. Overall, should you pull on this banner? Like I said earlier, if you only can get all three of them. Yeah. And what's the best trigger team, you might ask? Unfortunately, like every single team that exists, they kinda want where are you? Where are you? MP Blade. Yeah, unfortunately, they kinda want MP Blade and where are you? Or where are you? Space Blade. Yeah. Everyone wants MP Blade and Space Blade, unfortunately. So that's unfortunately the best trigger team. But when it comes to having the highest DPS output in the game right now, it's with triggers, with Sword of Sincerity Olivine and Foregone Oathkeeper Ray. With the healer of Starry Daydream Blade with MP Blade. The support is where are you? In a few videos back, I did say that Flame. No, not you. Where are you? Where are you? Police Edmond, the Vigilant Observer Edmond is better than the Light of Light Garu. But with the current trigger units, that is not the case. Well, it kind of depends on your playstyle, really. If you have Vigilant Observer Edmond, it will turn the team into close to a normal attack team or NA team. While if you have Light of Life Garu, it turns the team into a nuker team, which overall is kinda, well, sure, it's still good anyway. And yeah, I guess that's it. That's how to make a trigger team. And don't forget to stay horny. Click, click, click.